Rob was part of each audition, and he was living with her and soon to marry her, and he would obviously do better with her, wanting her to get the job. I mean, was I really the funniest one in the room when we were doing the improvs for all the suits?
After Rob Reiner and his wife passed, Hollywood didn't just react, it exploded with emotion. Tributes flooded in, every social feed lit up, and behind the scenes, whispers were flying like wildfire about what went down. But not everyone was guessing. Sally Struthers already knew. She wasn't just Rob's old co-star. She was his ride or die, the one he opened up to when the cameras went dark on That's Why She Couldn't Stay Quiet. When the internet started spinning wild stories, she decided to break her silence. And what she exposed had everyone frozen in shock. Even more chilling, what she revealed lined up perfectly with what Tom Cruise had been quietly hinting about behind closed doors. Sally never planned to speak out. No PR team, no script, just pure, raw heartbreak. When a reporter gently asked how she was holding up, she froze for a moment, her voice barely above a whisper. "You don't know what he was living through." Then, with tears streaming, she added, "We failed him." That one line hit like a punch. It changed everything people thought they knew. Her bond with Rob went way beyond the screen. It was a friendship that lasted over 50 years. They spoke constantly, sometimes late into the night, sharing stories, laughs, and secrets. But in those last few months, something shifted. Rob started calling her after midnight, saying nothing, then hanging up. When she finally asked him what was wrong, his voice dropped low and sharp. "I can't talk long." He listens. Then click, he was gone. That single phrase haunted her every night since. Just 3 weeks before his death, they met for lunch in Santa Monica. Rob arrived early, picked the corner booth, and made sure his back never faced the door. When his phone buzzed, he jumped so hard that his water glass toppled over. Trying to calm the tension, Sally joked, "Who's got you this scared?" But Rob didn't laugh. He leaned in close, eyes darting around, and whispered, "If I say it out loud, it becomes real." Then he looked her straight in the eyes and said, "Promise me if something happens, you'll tell the truth." That promise would break her later, because what she revealed turned everything upside down. Sally said it wasn't Rob who started changing, it was the house itself. Their once bustling Brentwood home, where friends dropped by and laughter filled the rooms, had gone eerily still. Rob stopped hosting anyone. Suddenly, everyone, even old pals, had to call first. When Sally pushed him for a reason, he snapped, "I need to know who's coming. I need time." It didn't sound like a man setting boundaries. It sounded like someone hiding. The whole house felt heavy, almost like it was closing in on itself. One afternoon, Sally walked in and noticed every blind was shut tight, even though the California sun was blazing outside. When she reached to open one, Rob grabbed her wrist and whispered, "Please don't." In the kitchen, Michelle spoke so softly it was like she was afraid the walls could hear her. Things got worse when shouting erupted upstairs. Nick, their son, was furious, demanding money and accusing his parents of cutting him off. Rob tried to keep calm, saying, "Lower your voice," but Nick fired back. "Or what? You'll call the cops on your own son?" The air in that house felt electric. Something was seriously off. And then came the moment Sally knew something was terribly wrong. Rob showed up at a charity event wearing a long-sleeved shirt in August. People thought it was just his look, but Sally noticed the tremor in his hands, his eyes darting like he was checking every corner of the room. Whatever haunted him wasn't just paranoia. It was real, and it was closing in fast. When someone joked about the blazing heat, Rob forced a laugh and muttered, "Doctor's orders." Everyone chuckled, but Sally didn't. She saw his hands shaking. A few days later, she spotted dark bruises under his watch. When she asked about them, Rob quickly said, "Stairs. I'm clumsy now. Too fast, too nervous." His voice cracked and his eyes dropped to the floor. That's when Sally's stomach dropped, because she finally realized something far darker was happening than anyone dared to imagine. Michelle eventually broke down and confessed something to Sally that chilled her to the bone. In a trembling voice, she said she'd started locking her bedroom door every single night. "I hate that sound," she whispered. "The footsteps in the hallway." Just like that, the Reiner mansion, once the ultimate symbol of Hollywood luxury, had turned into a house of fear. The tall iron gates that once kept paparazzi out now felt like they were keeping something dark trapped inside. Then came the twist that flipped the whole story on its head. According to Sally, Tom Cruise had visited the Reiner home last November, pretending it was just a quick meeting about a film project. But what he walked into wasn't a business talk. It was chaos. Voices were raised, Michelle was crying, and Nick was storming around, furious and demanding access to money he said was being hidden from him. Tom stepped in, trying to calm everyone down, but Nick suddenly snapped. He lunged forward and shouted, "You don't get to control me anymore!" The room went dead silent. No one moved, no one breathed. Later, Cruise confided in a close friend that what he saw in Nick's eyes terrified him. "No hesitation, no shame," he said. "Just emptiness." He knew right then that the danger inside that house wasn't just emotional, it was physical. That same afternoon, Cruise pulled Rob aside into the backyard, away from the walls that seemed to listen. His tone was serious, urgent. "You're in danger here," he warned. "This isn't manageable anymore. You need to get out, tonight if you can." Rob's face went pale. He looked down and whispered, "He's sick. If I turn my back now, I lose him forever." That broke Tom's heart. Desperate to help, he offered Rob an escape plan, one most people could only dream of. A discreet, top-tier rehabilitation center overseas, totally private and secure. "I'll handle everything," Cruise said firmly. "Just let me do this for you." But Rob's love for his family wouldn't let him walk away. He shook his head and said quietly, "If I force him, he'll never forgive me." When Sally heard that later, she said it shattered her soul. Rob still believed that love could fix what fear had already destroyed. Over the next few weeks, Cruise didn't stop trying. He texted Rob constantly, his messages growing more desperate with every day that passed. "Please take this seriously," one read. But Rob's replies kept shrinking, short, polite, full of denial. "We are managing. It's calmer now." Every word sounded like a man trying to convince himself that everything was fine, but deep down, he knew it wasn't. Then came the night everything fell apart. Rob didn't call the police. Instead, he contacted a private security firm, calmly asking for someone to help de-escalate things. The operator said he sounded composed, like nothing serious was going on. He never said he was afraid, never mentioned danger. But according to Sally, that decision cost him everything. Her voice cracked as she said, he was trying to protect his son from the consequences. When Tom Cruise got the news about Rob and Michelle, he reportedly went completely silent. No words, no reaction, just shock. Later, he told a close friend one line that everyone who heard it still remembers, "I warned him, and he chose love." That single sentence became the tragic line between what could have changed and what didn't. But Sally's final revelation ripped through Hollywood's fake smiles like a storm. She said the danger wasn't unseen because no one noticed. It was unseen because no one wanted to notice. "It wasn't hiding in the shadows," she said fiercely. "It was hiding in plain sight, behind silence." People had seen the red flags everywhere. Agents noticed his last-minute meeting cancellations. Lawyers quietly questioned strange money transfers. Doctors treated injuries that didn't make sense but stayed quiet to protect privacy. Every time someone looked the other way, the truth got buried deeper, until it was untouchable. People knew something was off, Sally said sharply. They just didn't want to be the one to say it out loud. She recalled a chilling phone call from a high-ranking industry exec who begged her to stay quiet. "This will destroy everything people believe about him," the voice warned, but Sally didn't hold back. "He was being destroyed while you protected an image," she snapped. Another insider tried to soften the story, suggesting they call it a family tragedy to protect reputations, but Sally refused. "Tragedy doesn't leave fingerprints," she said coldly. "Violence does." Her words hit like a thunderclap, because investigators later found proof that backed her up. Emergency room visits labeled as accidents, suspicious payments sent to unknown accounts, and long email threads begging for more time instead of taking action. Every piece of evidence painted one picture, a truth too dark for Hollywood to handle. Then came one of the hardest moments for Sally to talk about, the kind that breaks you just hearing it. She revealed that Rob once called her after meeting with his lawyers, sounding completely defeated. "They told me to document everything," he said bitterly. "I told them, I don't want a case. I want my son back." That single choice, to protect instead of expose, ended up shutting the very doors that might have saved him. And then, Michelle's story finally made sense. She wasn't just a bystander. She was drained, scared, and running out of options. Sally said Michelle once asked her therapist something chilling. Could parents be legally protected from their own adult children? The therapist hesitated, giving a long procedural answer filled with legal jargon and delays. But Michelle's reply still echoes in Sally's head. "By the time the system moves, we'll already be gone." That line still keeps Sally up at night. It was a cry for help hidden in plain sight. The darkest truths came only after everything ended. Investigators pieced together the timeline and found a haunting pattern: bursts of violence followed by apologies, then short calm periods before it all started again. It wasn't random, it was calculated. Sally told them straight. This wasn't impulsive. He knew when to be calm. He knew when to wait. Detectives even found messages showing that arguments happened when the house was quiet, when no one was around to intervene. Every move seemed planned, like someone was controlling the chaos on purpose. But what hit hardest was how the industry handled it afterward. Instead of calling it what it was, Hollywood started spinning the story, softening the edges with words like mental health struggles and family issues. They wanted to make it sound like a tragedy instead of facing the truth. But Sally wasn't having it. She stood up and said, "If Rob were a woman, no one would hesitate to call this what it was." That one line cut deep. It exposed how power, status, and image can twist reality until the truth disappears. Because here's the thing, money can't shield anyone from abuse. Fame doesn't protect you from silence. And the louder people tried to protect reputations, the quieter the truth became. When Sally finally spoke out, she didn't ruin Rob Reiner's legacy. She set it straight. His final act wasn't weakness. It was love stretched past its breaking point. He wasn't thinking like a director or a Hollywood legend. He was thinking like a father, still believing love could heal what fear had already destroyed. That hope cost him everything. Hollywood might keep trying to look away, but Sally made sure the truth can't be buried again. Rob Reiner didn't die a myth or a mystery. He died a man trapped in a tragedy too painful for headlines to spin. And Sally Struthers, the one person who truly knew him, refused to let silence win again. Now, as the investigation keeps unraveling, one haunting question refuses to fade. How many warnings does love ignore before it turns deadly? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more shocking updates. This isn't just another Hollywood story, it's a wake-up call no one saw coming.